Hey Cam, you know what?
What?
Let's go down a conspiracy theory rabbit hole. Alright, so we're back for another episode of CV Radio.
Yeah, we are.
I would first like to thank everybody. If you're a first time listener, welcome. If you're a repeat listener,
Welcome back.
welcome back. And this is quite an interesting episode. Like, we thought of this pretty last minute. We didn't really have a super concrete plan. I was like, hey, let's do a conspiracy theory cast. Like, let's just both of us find two compelling conspiracy theories, or just any two conspiracy theories. They could be ridiculous, convincing, whatever. So Cam and I each compiled two conspiracy theories, so that is a total of
4?
4. Good job, Cam.
Thanks.
So, Cam, do you want to kick it off with your first conspiracy theory?
Yes, I'd like to.
Okay.
So, theory number 1. Now, this is true. All right, so
It's true.
watch.
This has been
yourself.
confirmed to be true.
Confirmed to be true by Cam himself.
Oh,
The hip-hop R&B artist Eminem is an imposter, and the real Eminem was killed by the Illuminati in a 2005 car crash.
so okay. You had me up until the Illuminati part. I feel like that's kind of jumping to conclusions. We could just say killed or died in a car accident and was replaced by a double.
Well, it's an Illuminati double.
All right, continue. I'll let you. I won't be interrupting you. So
So my main bit of evidence that obviously connects all the dots is the 5-year gap between his 2004 album Encore and 2009 album Relapse. What was he doing in those 5 years?
relapsing.
Well, yeah. But besides that, nothing, because he's dead and was replaced by a clone from the Illuminati so he could spread their message
Of
I'll get to it.
okay.
So what are we thinking about this so far, right? The 5-year gap. What else could happen?
You know what?
Album comes out in 2004. Car accident 2005. Clone album 2009. Starting to make sense, right?
Not really, but I'm keeping my mind open.
So he claims that it was writer's block due to drug use. That's just ridiculous. I think not.
that because when I hear artists talk about using drugs to make music, most of them tend to say that it helps them make better music, being under the influence.
Okay.
So
Don't
that's
do
just-
drugs, though, please.
Yeah, please don't do drugs.
Also, don't get killed by the Illuminati and replaced by a clone. Like Eminem, he says he refused to work with them, so they orchestrated it. I don't know why it's a car accident. I feel like that'd be pretty public if they did that. I don't know why it's just like, and then they killed him and replaced him. But yeah. So, what else?
Yes, I feel like with such if assuming the Illuminati is real in the situation, why would they do something such as a car accident in order to actually kill him? Because people are gonna find out. Wouldn't they pick a much more subtle way to kill him, such as, I don't know, poison or just
Drug
shooting him?
overdose.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh, these are free ideas I'm throwing out there for the Illuminati. Recruit me. You guys can't see, but I just did the triangle eye thing.
They're watching us right now, Cam. Right through that webcam.
Yeah. They just see our shins, probably. So, the conspiracy theorist claims that the new Eminem was very different. And those who are, and were his true fans, likely didn't buy the switch at all. But many brainwashed people, not able to conceive reality, believed the lie and followed after the hero in this new mentality. Right? Those fools just willing to believe this lie. That the Eminem, like, who would be foolish enough to believe such a wild claim that Eminem is still alive, right? Ridiculous. Who would ever follow such a blindly stated fact like that? So a piece of lie, right?
I'm gonna save my words for the end.
He then goes on to say that the new clone is a satanic homosexual sellout Eminem who is leading the younger generation into being slaves to the new order. Because, you know, when I pick up his Marshall Mathers LP2, all I want to do is, you know, join the New Order and influence those less fortunate. Right? So this basically led me down a rabbit hole within our rabbit hole.
Oh.
That apparently there's a bunch of celebrity doppelgangers, including Megan Fox, Avril Lavigne, Miley Cyrus, Taylor Swift, Beyonce, and Britney Spears.
Oh yeah, the Avril Lavigne one is a fairly popular one that people have been adopting recently.
Is she still around?
Yes. She actually still looks pretty. Yeah, that's exactly what I was trying to say. She still looks the same as she did like in 2005.
It's good to know.
Because I was like, I wonder if she's still alive. And I looked up her Instagram, and yeah, she's very much alive.
She's still dating the Nickelback guy?
I don't know. I know she has a family, but I don't know.
Good for her. Shame she's a doppelganger, though. Yeah, so I have here, apparently if you're a successful woman in Hollywood and or Eminem, you are an imposter. And the real only reason I chose this was so I could try and make some sort of the real Slim Shady joke, but I can't come up with one, so that's pretty much it.
That's the entire conspiracy theory?
I mean, we could talk about it if you want.
I want to hear your opinion before I really form something myself.
I mean, from my limited knowledge of Eminem, I think there's a good chance that this is true.
So you're a believer of this theory? You'd consider yourself?
This theory, Vegas? Confirmed by Cam.
Okay, so...
Did you ever see that thing where there's that girl who thought she was his daughter?
On Dr. Phil, yeah. There's this girl on Dr. Phil. Sorry, I was adjusting the seat. Who was convinced that Slim Shady, or whatever his name is, Eminem, was her father. That's such bullcrap. She was doing that for attention. She knew very well.
I think she's mentally ill. I think that was established on the show. But her main reasoning was that her name is Haley and his daughter's name is Haley, so it has to be her. That's awesome. That makes so much sense. It's like, well, he named his first daughter this. Why would he name his other one?
Based on the information you've given me, I'm going to have to say it's a no from me, dog. I don't think it's... I mean, Marshall Mathers has a long history of drug addiction. I think that period of time was him trying to overcome it, him spending time with his daughter. I don't know if she's alive.
Both daughters, Haley and Haley.
Yeah, Haley and Haley. So I'm assuming that during that period of time, he was kindling his relationship with his daughter, assuming she was alive, and trying to work on himself independently and overcome his drug addiction.
Can I be honest?
Go ahead.
His daughter, dude, attractive.
His daughter?
Haley, the actual daughter?
How old is she?
She's older than us.
Okay.
Why you scared there for a minute?
Well, I don't know. I've never seen her, but I remember I just know his daughter as being young.
Imagine Eminem as your father-in-law. That'd be pretty cool.
Do you want to go to my theory?
Yeah, I'd just like to end this with, he wouldn't be your father-in-law because he's a clone of the real Eminem. Please at me. Moving on to Vegas' theory.
So Cam, I'm sure you've heard of the moon.
That's the one that comes out at night, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
The big white one.
Okay.
At me. I'm the big white one. So, I'm going to be talking about the moon landing.
Nickname.
It's a hoax. Didn't really happen. Bet you didn't know that. So, the first bit of info, is there are no stars in the background of any images that were taken during this mission. There were none. I'll show you right now. Cam, do you see any stars right there at all?
No. Only superstar Armstrong guy. Neil.
The only star I see is Lance Armstrong.
Neil. Right? One's the space guy and one's the liar.
I realized as those words were coming out of my mouth that I was mixing the two people up. Oh boy.
Oh, they should make Livestrong bracelets but that are space themed. I'd buy that.
Well, I'm pretty sure the phrase is copywritten.
Oh yeah. Copywritten by a liar.
Well, the Livestrong Foundation, I'm pretty sure is still around, but I don't think it's directly linked to Lance anymore.
Yeah, I know. It's like people always get on. It's like, oh, lying scumbag. But it's like we raise millions of dollars for cancer research, so
Yeah.
it's kind of a good dude.
I'm gonna be honest. I wore a Livestrong bracelet. I'm sure everybody did though.
My dad has like a pack of them in the attic. I'll bust them out for the
Those
next
will
podcast.
definitely be worth nothing in like 50 years. So, no stars. There are none in any of the background or in any of the pictures in the background. So, one detail doubters often point out is the background of many of NASA's photos. In pictures of the moon's landscape, there aren't any stars in the sky. It just looks like a big black void of space. Since the moon has no atmosphere, shouldn't there be millions of stars dotting the background of these photos? If the landing were to be faked on a studio stage, did the photographers make a huge deal and mistake and just forgot to, quote, turn on, end quote, the stars?
Oof. I always forget to turn on that button, the star button, whenever I'm setting up. I always forget the stars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So there's that one. Cam, do you know the Sea Rock?
Very vaguely, yes.
Do you know about this rock? And I'm not talking about Dwayne.
You really have to go there, huh?
So, one of the most famous photos shows a stray moon rock that appears to have the letter C written or stamped on it. That's weird. Why would there be a C on a rock?
Weird.
This gives off the impression that most of the larger moon rocks seen in this picture from the moon landing are simply props.
Was there a V-Rock? Could be the CV rocks from space.
Oh yeah, the CV.
Yep.
Hey, maybe.
We were there. It was us.
It was us, yep. A set designer could have easily just made those rocks and had labeled them, and whenever they were designing the set, because, you need to, like, make sure you categorize your props and, that they're organized correctly, so, you want to label them so you know. So, skeptics of this piece of evidence claim the C is just a photographic glitch, like a stray hair that found its way into the developing process, or just a hoax, the conspiracy theory itself.
Well, what if it is real what if it's real but it was just there? Like, what if they just found a thing that had a C on it? I feel like that's a possibility. The universe is infinite, right? Because all possibilities can come true. There must be a C on a rock.
Yes, but this is a very well-defined C. This wasn't just like it's a C on a rock, haha. Like when people find faces on their toast. No. This was a C, Cam.
How often do you find faces on your toast?
That's neither here nor there. So, the third piece of evidence is different shadow lengths. Some people point out that some of the shadows given off by the astronauts are different in length, even though they might be sitting close to each other. This might suggest that a faulty lighting system was set up on the stage somewhere, and NASA failed to notice any inconsistencies. And people argue that the photos were taken on rough, hilly landscapes, which are bound to produce all kinds of wacky shadow lengths, no matter where you stand. And if you take a picture on a snow-covered hill, for instance, the same kind of effect will probably happen.
Interesting.
But you gotta think.
Interesting.
The moon looks pretty flat. We're not talking about flat Earth. Flat moon theory.
We'll get there.
But, come on, man.
Is the moon hilly?
I don't think so. I don't think it is.
My biggest one with this is, why do people care?
Because...
Right, like, let's put it this way, right?
Wait, save that can we save this question
to the end of this
for the end of this one?
Yeah.
Because I really want to go in depth on that question. So, this one is very compelling. The American flag appears to flap in the breeze. In the footage of the astronauts hoisting up American flag and planting them in the ground, a slight breeze appears to lift up the fabric. The moon, however, shouldn't have any type of weather. There isn't an atmosphere on the moon, so there isn't any air to blow around the flag. Was the flag filmed in a drafty studio or outside?
Maybe.
Like, I can't see any justification for that at all.
That is odd.
It is very odd. And you can go back and watch. You want to hear something really, really interesting? I'm going to make sure it does, see if it addressed. Nope, it doesn't. I can't speak either. But do you know that there's, like, the original video, the original reel for the moon landing does not exist anymore? Scientists have been trying to track it down for years, and they cannot find it.
They leave it on the moon?
You would think we have all the pyramids, all this amazing, important, innovations or just advancements in human knowledge or whatever, but we don't have the moon landing tape or record or whatever the heck it's called. How? Probably one of the most important events to happen in human history, and we somehow just, oops, we don't have the original tape anymore. We don't know what happened to it. Like, come on. Doesn't that kind of make you wonder, like, what could have possibly happened to it?
There's something they're hiding, I think.
Do you think so?
Oh, yeah.
So, slow motion film and wires. Some have pointed out the possibility that in order to create the effect of weak gravity on the moon, the astronauts were suspended by wires and film jumping around, like, adjusting the wires and stuff like that. NASA then slowed down the film to make it look a little bit more natural. This one's kind of stretching. Doubters have even gone far enough to construct their own wiring systems, film themselves, and slow the footage down to compare it to NASA's video.
It's too much time you're wasting there.
That one's a bit of a stretch.
At that point, you'd be like, sure, it happened.
But
why do I care?
That is the evidence for my theory. I don't know if you want to go first or if you want me to go first. Go ahead.
It's just interesting to me as to why people care so much. Because it's like, what are you going to gain from it being fake, dude? Is NASA going to, give you, a cookie? Like, oh, you got us. You finally proved us wrong. Psych. What? There's no point. It happened in the past. You probably weren't even alive when it happened. So, it doesn't matter to me. Whether it's real or fake, which it is real. Sorry. Doesn't really affect me.
I feel like it feeds into just the way our society is and how, we're just fed information and nobody really questions it. Or we buy into things and we don't think about it. We're just like, oh, new iPhone, sweet, buy it. But, with the government, they have control and they're able to, this is going along with a theory. This isn't my personal belief. This is just me speculating, why this theory could make sense. But, it's easy for them to manipulate us into believing what they want us to believe. So, yeah, I'll let you maybe go ahead and add on to that.
I saw a thing where it was it would have been harder for NASA to convince everyone who worked there to keep this a secret than it would actually be to just go to the moon.
Yeah,
pretty funny.
That's where I'm stumped.
There's no way that's secret.
There's no way that, and this kind of goes along with another theory that I think is your second theory, but there's no way that out of all the people who've worked for NASA and all the history of NASA, not a single person has come out and said, well, at least not to my knowledge, that the moon landing was faked, with enough evidence to back it up.
Yeah, I feel like at this point they probably would have, or the Illuminati got to them first, and they took them out. Maybe Eminem knew. Maybe Eminem knew the whole time that the moon landing was fake, and they took him out.
Eminem faked the moon landing. He's a time traveler and a clone. So,
yeah.
I'm going to say...
Moon confirmed.
Moon landing is confirmed. What about you, Cam?
Well, nothing is truly confirmed in this crazy world we live in. Moon landing confirmed, moon unconfirmed. I'm not sure if that thing's still real or not.
It's a big block of cheese. Yeah, but I will say there
Big
is
hologram of cheese.
there is some good evidence to prove that it's flat, but I don't think it actually is flat. I would say there is some compelling evidence, like the flag, or the fact that we don't know what happened to the original film reels. Like, come on. We have archives of every important movie that comes out.
It was in the trunk of Eminem's car. He was taking it to the press and they took him out.
All right, so what's your next theory?
Ooh, okay. So, obviously, you were just talking about it, right? Flat moon, flat Earth, right? You think I'm gonna do flat Earth? That's too expected. You okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The hollow Earth theory. Vegas.
Hollow Earth?
The hollow Earth. You know the thing that we're sitting on right now? Standing on? Planet
Yes.
Earth?
Uh-huh.
Hollow.
Why hollow?
I'll get to it.
Okay.
So there is there's a community of internet, I put in quotes here, scholars who believe that the Earth is hollow and full of aliens, UFOs, Nazis, and or Vikings.
Excuse me? Can you repeat that again?
Aliens and or UFOs.
Aliens or UFOs?
So, yeah. Nazis.
Nazis.
Yep. And Vikings. Now, they can't actually come up with which one is which. Like,
Well, why those group? Why that group? It's just a very obscure group. We have people from another planet.
mm-hmm.
We have probably one of the, if not the worst group of people, Nazis. That would have been funny if I was like Vikings.
I was going to make that joke if you didn't.
And then Vikings?
Mm-hmm. Now, they can't decide, they can't agree upon which is actually down there. You know,
Why? Why does it matter who? Well, how do we even know that there's people down there?
How do we not know there's people down there? All right?
Because it's not hollow. I'm keeping an open mind. I'm too close-minded.
So, Rodney Clough.
Oh, Rodney Clough.
Yeah, the Rodney Clough is the leader, and I also put in quotations, genius, question mark, of this movement. And in 2007, organized a voyage to the center of the Earth. But the $15,000 per euro per person voyage was canceled. So they spent all that money. They had a ship in like Russia or something, but they couldn't find the opening. They'll get him next time. Clough. Dude.
Oh my goodness.
But this didn't stop him, right? Rodney Clough. You can't put my man down.
Good old Clough. Mr. Clough.
I got a quote from him right here. More and more people are coming to terms with the fact that the Earth is hollow. I get emails from people learning about it every day. So, it's spreading. The truth is spreading, Vegas, is what he's trying to say there. People's minds are being open, right? Their brains, once hollowed and empty just like this Earth, are now filled with knowledge. Right? Nothing to add to this? This guy, dude.
Why hollow? Like, I understand flat, but why hollow?
Because Vegas, the idea that it's solid all the way through, that's just ridiculous.
No, it's not.
How do you know? Have you ever been down there?
No! See, you got me there because I don't know. I really don't know.
Okay. So I got another quote here. This is him addressing the ridiculous flat earthers.
Oh, please tell me they have like beef with each other.
I don't know how the flat earthers can be so confused.
What?
They are obviously wrong. The world is not flat, it's hollow. They reject all the evidence. Just ridiculous that someone would believe this crazy theory and reject all evidence of truth, right?
See, but I'm going to ask you, where's your evidence?
You got me there.
Cam, you don't have any evidence?
I was just saying that it's...
You're just talking about this Rodney Clough guy. You don't have any evidence.
Rodney Clough is my evidence.
You're doing him dirty right now. Rodney Clough is listening to this right now, and
I'm sorry, Rodney, if I'm letting you down.
He's dying right now. He's just cringing inside.
I don't know if you can hear this. I don't know if there's any reception in the center of the Earth. He's down there right now.
Yes, there's no reception because it's solid.
Well, those Nazis might have set up like a cell phone tower. Who knows? They've been down there for a while.
Oh my god.
I just think it's funny that he called out the flat earthers
for
rejecting all evidence when he believes...
He believes the Earth is hollow and he's calling them ridiculous?
Yeah, he's right. How could someone just reject all the evidence like that? It's like they're ignoring a scientific fact. Who would do such a thing?
Do you have anything else to add to this theory?
And then I put theory inspired by film Journey to the Center of the Earth starring Brandon Fraser and Josh Hutcherson. Maybe.
Kim, I want to hear your 2 cents.
Well, we don't know.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah, I agree with you. There's really no way to know.
You know, he was in Russia looking for that hole. He couldn't find it. That doesn't mean it's not there.
Maybe it's covered up by the Vikings, or the aliens, or the Nazis. No, the Nazis.
You think they get along? The Nazis and the Vikings and the aliens?
I feel like the Vikings don't like the Nazis or the aliens, but the aliens and the Nazis get along. Maybe not get along, but they're like frenemies.
Yeah. Imagine that.
It's like a 5-year-old kid was like, or not 5 years old, but like 12-year-old kid's like, oh, you got the Nazis who are fighting the aliens who are fighting the Vikings. And there's a big round ball, but it's hollow on the inside, and they're all inside of it.
Imagine that movie, dude. Dude,
So,
Rodney Clough. I'm gonna.
Where exactly are these people in the hollow Earth? Because the whole thing is it just hollow all throughout?
I think I was on the wiki page at one point, and there like it tried to justify that like it's a certain amount like deep, and then it becomes like open. But I didn't care enough.
Yeah, because
to
there are
actually
holes in the Earth.
Have
like
you seen
caves.
Journey to the Center of the Earth?
I have not.
He like falls for a while, and then he ends up in the center of the Earth. Was there Nazis there?
I haven't seen the movie.
Oh.
I wouldn't know. But you're not giving me any evidence, so I can't really form an opinion on it.
Rodney's all the evidence you need, dude. He couldn't find the hole.
You know, I'm gonna say this, Rodney. If you're listening to this, feel free to send us an email, CVradio.info@gmail.com. Again, CVradio.info@gmail.com.
Also, Rodney, your mom told me to tell you to clean up the basement because you haven't paid rent this month, and she needs someone to clean it.
Listen, we need Rodney on our side, because if the world ends, we all need to go to the center of the Earth. He's gonna see you and be like, "No, you gotta get out of here, buddy." So that was your second theory right there?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm really proud of that one.
So, I'm gonna be honest, haven't looked into this one at all. I've heard about it, but I don't know anything about it, so this is gonna be a new experience for both of us and possibly the listener. I've heard the name, but I'm on the wiki page and I read the first sentence and I was already like, whew. So, the name is Project MK Ultra.
Sounds like a fighting game.
It does. I'm gonna read you the
Fight.
I'm gonna read you the first sentence and tell me what you think. Project MK Ultra, also called the CIA Mind Control Program, is a code name given to a program of experiments on human subjects that were designed and undertaken by the United States Central Intelligence Agency. What would you say about that?
So far, I'm believing it. I feel like that's something they'd probably do.
So it was sanctioned in 1953, and that was when it started. And the whole purpose of it was, or the scope of Project MK Ultra was broad, with research undertaken at 80 institutions, including colleges, universities, hospitals, prisons, and
Yeah, this is even pretty real so far, if I'm being honest.
pharmaceutical companies. The CIA operated through these institutions using front organizations, although some top officials at these institutions were aware of the CIA's involvement. I'm going to skip down a little bit. Geez, there's a lot.
Is this real? Is this a real thing?
I don't know.
The way they're talking about it seems very real.
The project... Whoa. The project attempted to produce the perfect truth drug for interrogating suspected Soviet spies during the Cold War, and to explore other possibilities of mind control. Sub-Project 54 was another MK-Ultra effort and was the Navy's top-secret, quote, perfect concussion, end quote, program, which was supposed to use aerial frequency blast to erase memory. However, the program was never carried out.
It's like Men in Black.
Yeah.
Well, that's weird, actually.
Most MK-Ultra records were destroyed in 1973 by order of CIA Director Richard Helms. I've heard that name before. So it has been difficult for investigators to gain a complete understanding of more than 150 funded research sub-projects sponsored by MK-Ultra and related to CIA programs. They're controlling us, dude.
Right now. They're making you, like, freak out.
This is interesting. Because you have to think about it. The Cold War was such an interesting period.
Some would say...
It was... Everybody was...
Okay.
It was... Well, I mean, you had the space race.
Yeah.
It's a race to basically, like, who's the better nation? What's better? Capitalism or communism? We had a lot of... There was politics. There was war. There was human conflicts, like, in regards to, like, morality. A lot of stuff like that. So I'm going to now introduce this next little tidbit. The project began during a period of what Rupert Cornell described as, quote, paranoia, end quote, at the CIA, when the U.S. had lost its nuclear monopoly and fear of communism was at its height. CIA counterintelligence chief James Jesus Angleton believed that a mole had penetrated the organization at the highest levels. The agency poured millions of dollars into studies examining methods of influencing and controlling the mind, and of enhancing their ability to extract information from resistant subjects during interrogation. Some historians assert that one goal of MK-Ultra and related CIA projects was to create a, quote, Manchurian candidate, end quote. I don't know what that means.
It's a movie.
Subject through mind control techniques. So, would you like to add anything?
So, the way you're talking about this, it's real. Like, this happened?
Yes.
Okay.
Of course, supposedly.
Well, it's kind of, they're not even, it's just like, yeah, this guy did that and that. Real. So that's kind of cool. It's good to know that people tried to mind control people at one point. Who knows, maybe they still are.
Could be.
We could be subliminally messaging you right now.
So, the next part I want to talk about in regards to MK-Ultra is the actual drugs themselves. And it's going to sound a bit familiar. You've probably heard of it before. But early CIA efforts focused on LSD-25, which later came to dominate many MK-Ultra's programs. The CIA wanted to know if they could make Soviet spies defect against their will, and whether the Soviets could do the same to the CIA's own operatives.
LSD-25?
Yes.
Are there 24 other LSDs?
Possibly. Or it could be... I don't know. That's a good question.
It's a lot of LSD.
Once Project MK-Ultra got underway in April 1953, experiments included administering LSD to mental patients, prisoners, drug addicts, and sex workers. Quote, people who could not fight back, end quote, as one agency officer put it. In one case, they administered LSD to a mental patient in Kentucky for 174 days. They also administered LSD to CIA employees, military personnel, doctors, other government agents, and members of the general public to study their reactions.
What decade was this?
The 50s.
They're just finding reasons to, like, drop acid and have some fun.
So,
it's crazy.
The entire purpose of this was basically to, figure out if they can mind control people. So some subjects' participation was consensual, and in these cases they appeared to be singled out for even singled out for even more extreme experiments. In one case, 7 volunteers in Kentucky were given LSD for 70 consecutive days, as I just mentioned. MK Ultra's researchers later dismissed LSD as too unpredictable in its results. They gave up on the notion LSD was the, quote, secret way that was going to unlock the universe, end quote, but it still had a place in the cloak and dagger arsenal. However, by 1962, the CIA and the Army developed a series of super hallucinogens, such as the highly, whatever that word is, BZ, which was thought to hold greater promise as mind control weapon. This resulted in the withdrawal of support by many academics, and private researchers in LSD research became less of a priority altogether. So, hypnosis.
So they're just like giving people at CIA like LSD?
Basically, they're giving everybody it. That's what it seems like.
What's wrong with your knee, Vegas? Do you need some? What's going on? Is
No,
it still messed up from prom or whatever?
Oh, I don't think so. I just burnt it a little bit. So.
That's a story we should get into one time. I feel like we teased it last episode.
Yeah, maybe we could talk about it at the end of our conspiracy theory.
Maybe.
So, the aftermath, and pop culture. MK Ultra plays a part in many conspiracy theories due to its nature and the destruction of most records. Lawrence Teeter, maybe he knows our boy.
I already forgot his name.
So did I.
Let's call him Clive.
Well,
Rodney Clough.
Rodney Clough. Maybe Rodney Clough and Lawrence Teeter know each other.
Teeter and Clough.
So Lawrence Teeter was the attorney for Cirin, who assassinated Robert F. Kennedy, and he believed that Cirin was, quote, operating under MK Ultra mind control techniques, end quote. American fashion model and radio host Candy Jones claimed to have been a victim of mind control in the 1960s. Some movies that talk about MK Ultra, or it has to do with the plot: Pineapple Express, Mr. Right, The Killing Room, The Banshee Chapter, Jacob's Ladder, bunch of The Shadow Man, Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
Sure. There is a mind-controlled person in that movie.
Sebastian Stan portrays Bucky Barnes, who is subjected to MK Ultra-like mind control, experienced by the Nazis, aka Hydra, who turn him into the ultimate assassin, the Winter Soldier.
They literally make the Manchurian Candidate joke in that movie. Like, Manchurian Candidate.
So the final little synopsis, or just not synopsis, but final bit of info is deaths. Given the CIA's purposeful destruction of most records, its failure to follow informed consent protocols with thousands of participants, the uncontrolled nature of the experiment, and lack of follow-up data, the full impact of MK Ultra experiments, including deaths, may never be known. Several known deaths have been associated with Project MK Ultra, most notably that of Frank Olson, who's a biochemist.
Oh, I thought he was an Olsen twin.
Biological weapons researcher. I mean, I think we can. Do you want to end the MK Ultra there? Should I offer a bit more?
If you want. This is fascinating stuff.
You know what?
It's cool that this is like real. Like this isn't like a theory. Like this is like reality.
It's spooky, man.
Yeah.
Because there's no same thing with the the moon landing. There's records, but
not anymore.
This, you know what? I'm very intrigued by this. I'm gonna research this more, out of just curiosity. Because as of now, I would say it's pretty convincing. I think that the whole theory is that MK Ultra is still something that's in effect today, or that there is some form of MK Ultra that is kind of administered to people now, which might be a bit of a stretch, but I feel like research into mind control has happened. Obviously, we just read it.
Maybe we're mind controlling you right now.
I don't think we shouldn't scare people like that. We don't want to lose viewers. We got to keep them. We're not MK Ultra. Wait, but then that makes it sound crazy.
We're LSD 26.
You've heard of LSD 25, but now LSD 28.
Oh.
We skipped 2 numbers
Oh no.
to show the importance.
Yep.
But I'm fascinated by it. I think I believe it. I mean, just based off what I've read, I haven't looked into the theory any bit more than I have today. I would say I'm a believer. How about you, Cam? How do you feel?
I believe.
You're a believer?
I believe everything said here today on this podcast. Every single last word of it.
But what about MK Ultra in specific?
Yes.
You think? Are you being sarcastic? I can't.
No,
tell
I genuinely believe in it. I'm sorry that I come off as sarcastic a lot, but I believe it.
No, it's all good. I think I'm gonna go with you.
Where are you gonna go with me? To the center of the earth?
The center of the Hollow Earth.
They say Holocaust.
Go to the center of the Hollow Earth where they filmed the moon landing.
Yep.
Eminem is really down there.
Yeah.
And
I heard his new stuff down there is pretty good. All the Vikings love it.
do you think the Nazis like it?
No.
If you like something the Nazis like, does that make you a bad person? Like, let's say Nazis loved root beer. If you like root beer, does that make you a Nazi? There's no right or wrong answer.
Yes. Yes is the right answer to that question. If you like Volkswagen, you are a Nazi. You heard it here first.
All right, well, let's transition into some current events within our life. So, smooth transition right there.
Wait, did we want to talk about your knee?
Well, yeah, we'll get to that.
Okay. So, you want to talk about that knee, Vegas?
Oh, yeah. All right. So, we had our senior prom a couple weeks ago. It was a couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah, at this point, yeah.
And we had our after prom. So it was in our school's gymnasium. We had a bunch of inflatables, stuff like that. And the first thing that I went on, I got really bad rug burn all up and down my knee and my leg. Now it's good. You can't really well, I guess you can kind of see it, but it was really bad for about a week or two.
Was that the thing I joined in halfway through?
It was the
Got
obstacle course. You know how the obstacle course?
No. I don't remember
It's
that.
on the far right. But that's what happened with my knee.
Interesting.
But
I'm glad we teased that story.
yeah, it's really not that great of a story. So we went to Toys R Us again today.
Yeah, we did.
It was depressing, man.
It was like most of the stores closed off at this point. Like we couldn't even go in to like a lot of it. So it's just like 2 or 3 aisles. That was it, really. Pretty sad.
Yeah, because I remember we talked about it last week, and you're just like, eh. But like seeing it today, it was like I was like, holy cow! Like this place, they didn't even accept cash. They weren't accepting cash. I was just like, holy cow! Like,
Have to whip out the card.
yeah.
Expense that to CV Radio.
So, you just have to think about the people who are working there who are now no longer going to have a job.
I honestly at one point wanted to ask people if they're gonna be okay, but it felt weird. You gonna be okay?
I wanted to talk to them and be like, so like, what do you think about, like, how is your store, like, reacting, or how are you guys, like, feeling about, this bad, because it was announced a while ago, like maybe in December or January, I believe, like right after the holiday season.
Yeah, I never realized that this one was gonna be closing.
Yeah, I think this one now, as of recording, there's 3 days left.
Yeah, that was the sign out front.
Yeah, so I mean, like, I don't know, it's just crazy seeing that happen. I know like what I'm saying now is what I've already said, but it really makes you think about, like, I don't know, it's just like boom, gone. But supposedly there's, I think, Party City or some like company like that who's opening a toy store. Like they're opening 50 stores this year. Do you remember that the Party store that used to be there, where Party City is now? Do you remember what it was called? iParty. Yes, that place used to be awesome.
They had really cringy commercials.
It was always really bad though. All the stuff that they had there, like all the toys and stuff like that. Like they didn't, or not toys, like masks or costumes, because that's what they sold. Like it was nothing good.
Yeah, just kind of garbage.
But do you want to call it an episode, Cam?
Yeah, I say we could call it here.
All right. Again, we would like to give a nice thank you to everybody who listened to last week's episode, or if you've listened to any episodes previously. If you're a first-time listener, welcome. Feel free to go back and listen to our previous episodes. We are still, planning stuff. We have big things in the works, kind of.
Someone was literally just messaging me about how they wanted to be on the podcast during this episode.
But we have a lot of great ideas, and we want to take this podcast into some great territory.
Some gray territory?
Great.
Oh.
Great.
Morally gray territory.
Great.
We're going to do some messed up stuff here.
No.
Oh.
Probably not.
Okay.
Those are very no.
Okay.
Gotta keep it PG.
It'll be PG. It'll just be weird.
Yeah. Okay. I'll take that. Anyways, Cam, is there any final words you'd like to mention?
If you're listening to this in the car, drive safe. Don't be like Eminem. Watch your back.
And again, feel free to email us, CVradio.info@gmail.com. Once again, CVradio.info@gmail.com. We got a very nice email from a girl named Ashley. Ashley, thank you for complimenting my story about the fire pole. I appreciate that a lot.
Thanks for not even mentioning me.
Anyways, I think we're going to end it here today, folks. That is all. I hope you have a great day, and we will see you again next week.
Bye.
Enjoy.